guys ready for this? Because I am. Let me get this going. Do 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 do.
The following thoughts on Happy Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you.
Are you feeling classy today? Sit down for a glass of wine and listen to Happy Hour.
You're tuned in to Happy Hour, an hour where happy rants about something. Sit back and listen in. Happy Hour is on now. Happy Hour is on now.
What up? What is happening? What up? What is happening? This is Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And for the next hour, I want to change the way you think about things. For the next hour, I want my show to bring a mix of humor, a mix of news, and I will attempt to bring that mix of intelligence. But first, tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Let me know what you think. Or email me, ryan@hopperadio.com. Or if you're listening via the app or online, chat me live. But first, we have to go with the tradition. Let's let that beat drop, pimps. Also, shout out to Jason Mahoney from the Dave Mahoney and DK Morning Show on Mix 96.5 for calling into Happy Hour. I've known him for a while now. I met him last year at the Morning Show Boot Camp, so to have him on Happy Hour was an honor. He's a class act and a guy in a major market who has always had my back during hard times and during good times. Also, shout out to Jason Bailey from the Rock 100.5 Morning Show in Atlanta for coming on Happy Hour as well today. He's a guy as well that has always had my back because I've wanted to go into radio probably for like 11 years now. So I've worked very hard to network with people. So it's cool to have these guys on tomorrow on Happy Hour. From The Woody Show on Alt 98.7 in Los Angeles, Woody will be on the show, as well as Riggs from Riggs, Alley, and The Judge on 103.7 Kiss FM in Milwaukee. He will be calling in to talk about his radio career. But as of right now, this is what is important. So let me talk about this. I am a huge NBA fan. I have been a fan of the Lakers probably for about 8 years now. I wasn't a guy who jumped on the bandwagon, you know. I wasn't the guy who began watching the Lakers just because they were good in 2008 when they picked up Pau Gasol. I actually did begin watching them because my uncle has lived in Los Angeles for about 35 years. So it was fun to watch the games as like an 8th grader in 2008. I know saying that makes some people feel old, but I was in 8th grade in 2008. And it was cool to talk to my uncle on the phone while watching the games in real time. And I was so upset, so angry when those goddamn Celtics beat the Lakers. But one of my favorite players always was Kobe, obviously. He was always everyone's favorite player. Everyone liked Pau Gasol. But the one guy that always touched my heart was the sixth man who would come off the bench. It was Lamar Odom. I've always liked what he brought to the team. He shot threes in a very timely fashion. He would get an and one, so a three-point play with a layup if you don't watch basketball. He played good defense. He had a good jump shot. He was just a guy that was so likable. And he was a guy that you could root for. So whenever I would play NBA 2K, he would always be the guy I sometimes would have in my lineup. I didn't want to have Ron Artest at the small forward in the game. I would play Lamar Odom. I've always been a huge fan of Lamar Odom. So when I heard that he was found unconscious at the brothel known as the Bunny Ranch, brought to you by Dennis Hoff, I'm almost heartbroken. I know people can say, well, he's a celebrity. Why do we feel bad for the bad decisions that he makes? Because he has the money to make bad decisions, like going to a brothel, like buying drugs. But at the end of the day, Lamar Odom is a human being. Forget the part that he made so much money playing the game of basketball. Forget the part that he's a celebrity. He is a human being at the end of the day. And I am sick and tired of seeing these jokes on Twitter, making fun of him, making jokes about it. And also, we need to quit blaming the Kardashians. And I know you're probably going, really? You're not blaming them, Hoppe? I thought you hated them. I despise the Kardashians with all my heart. They have no talent, they're not likable, and they're fake looking with all the surgery they've had on their boobs, their butt, their face. They're good looking girls, but they're fake. They don't have much going on in their brain, but everyone's a human being at the end of the day. And I hate people that are making jokes about Khloe. I hate people that are making jokes about Lamar Odom. It's like, I don't care if they got married on a TV show or if they got married at an Amish farm in Kentucky. They are human beings. And the fact that people on Twitter hide behind their keyboard like pussies and make these jokes about them is an absolute disgrace. You would never say it to Khloe's face. You would never say it to Lamar's face. I'm reading reports online. They said she couldn't even talk because she was weeping so hard. But yeah, let's make jokes and hide behind the keyboard, you douchebags. Oh, God, is the internet awful. Like any of these wussies that hide behind the keyboard, I would love to see them go into that hospital room and go up to Lamar Odom, who's right now unconscious and fighting for his life, or go up to Khloe and go, ha ha, it's your fault. She would slap you across the face, you bitch. God, it gets me so mad when people make these jokes online. Like, yeah, the Kardashians are awful. Yeah, Lamar Odom screwed up. Yeah, Lamar Odom has money. But at the end of the day, he's a human being who has issues. Secondly, before I get to the article, shame on the media for how they are reporting this. First of all, I saw TMZ do this. I saw the Telegraph do this. I saw ETV do this, which is no surprise. But they made it about the Kardashians. This rant I'm about to do is nothing about them personally, and it's not about them. But the fact that the media is reporting about them first is an absolute disgrace. It shows a lack of journalism and a lack of research. Number one, the Telegraph said Khloe Kardashian's husband. How about the fact that he's the reason the Lakers went to the NBA Finals 3 times? He won 6th Man of the Year, and he was huge for that team. But yeah, he's just Khloe's husband. That's all he is. He's not an NBA champion. He's not a baller. He's Khloe's husband. Anybody out there who is so lazy and such an awful journalist that they referred to him as Khloe's husband, you must have the IQ of a moronic kindergartner. I'm sorry, man. All you have to do is search up Lamar Odom on Wikipedia and see everything he's accomplished. All you have to do is look up Lamar Odom on YouTube and see all the highlights that he has brought to the NBA and the heart and the passion and the drive he brought when he was on the Lakers from like 07 to 2012, I think, because then he went to the Mavericks and that was short-lived. He brought so much to the team. But yeah, he's just Khloe's husband. That's all he is. This has nothing to do with Khloe Kardashian. I actually half don't mind her because I think she actually is okay. I don't know. Out of all the Kardashians, she's the one I despise the least. I'll say it like that. Like, she doesn't bother me like Kim. Kim's really the one that bothers me. Kim, Chris, and then the 2 ones around my age, Kendall and... What's sad is I know their names but I know more about them than the presidents. That's what's kind of sad. But out of all the Kardashians, I really feel for Khloe right now. You know she has to be going through a lot. The other thing I noticed is all the gossip sites that drove him to being a crack addict, that drove him to go to a brothel and to take a bunch of Viagras and have a dangerous Viagra party. They're now pulling out the sympathy card. We hope he pulls through. We hope he's all right. Listen, I do believe that the people writing that at TMZ or at these online blogs or Perez Hilton, I really believe that they feel that way. Because nobody wants to see anybody die unless you're a terrorist, a pedophile, this and that. But listen, don't you realize that you drove him to that insanity when you would stalk him when he was walking down Hollywood Boulevard or he was in Beverly Hills with the Kardashians and you would bother him? Or when he and her broke up, because they never really got a divorce, I was reading online. But you would bother him. Where's Khloe? Is it true you're on crack? Like, you now say you're sorry and you now are wishing the best for him, but you guys realize you're one of the main factors of why he lost his mind. I sort of want to sit here and say it's half the Kardashians' fault, the reason that he went crazy, but he's a grown man. He knew what he was getting himself into, but I think it's more the media and how they hounded him. Those scoundrels, those scumbags, they drove him nuts. I'm not saying that we are supposed to completely blame TMZ and all those news outlets because at the end of the day, he's a grown adult. He knows what he was doing when he was lighting up that crack pipe. He knows what he was doing when he walked into that brothel, the Bunny Ranch, this and that. He knows what he's doing. It's not like Harvey Levin was putting a gun to his head, or Perez Hilton was like, you better do that or else. But come on. You now are saying, oh, we're sorry, oh. But you do realize that if it wasn't for you, he might be in a little bit of better shape. These paparazzi, these celebrity journalists are the worst. I'm not saying don't do your job. I'm not saying you don't have the right to be a paparazzi to follow these guys. But there's times you get absolutely nothing and all you're doing is bothering them. My mom would watch the show TMZ, and we had only one TV in the house. So I had to watch it from 2006 until I moved out in 2014, going on 2015. And when TMZ first came out, it was one of those shows where they got good content. Oh, Lindsay Lohan is being called a fire crotch. Britney Spears is going crazy. And I'm not saying that I was rooting against the celebrities, but it was intriguing television. But then you saw over the years that all they were doing is just hounding these celebrities and being bullies and being pests just for material. So that's why I think it's pathetic that now the paparazzi and now all these entertainment blogs are being hypocrites and like, prayers for Lamar, hashtag. It's like, didn't you see the guy was suffering a year ago when you were hounding him? I'm just saying. All right. Here is the article, and this is from CNN.com. All right, here's what it says. And this is the latest update from 7:15 p.m. Former NBA player Lamar Odom has been using cocaine on Saturday. Employers at the Nevada brothel, where he was found unresponsive Tuesday, told 911 dispatchers, listen, I can't imagine working at that brothel. I can't imagine, well, first of all, because I can't imagine being a girl who has sex for money and not having any respectability. But the second part, I can't believe, is, can you imagine being one of those girls and you're like, Lamar, wake up. Lamar, come on. Lamar, come on. And you find out that a major celebrity, a guy who's really popular, a former NBA player, is passed out. I can't imagine being the person in charge of PR when you have this happen. You must be panicking. When it's Joe Schmo who's passed out, you're like, whatever. But when it's Lamar Odom, I can only imagine the panic that is going on through the halls of the Bunny Ranch. Here's what it says. Khloe Kardashian will make medical decisions for former NBA player Lamar Odom, who is right now in Las Vegas after being found unconscious at a brothel. Source close to Kardashian said Wednesday. I don't know if I like the idea of the Kardashians having control of everything that goes on in the hospital. Because they're not awful people. They're talentless, they're morons, but they have a heart. They're not bad people. They may have the ego the size of planet Earth, but at the end of the day, Khloe obviously wants what is best for Lamar. But listen, I find it kind of weird that the wife that he is obviously cheating on, the wife that he hasn't been around for a while, they're not broken up, but they're not together, they're not divorced, but I find it weird that Khloe is the one that's in charge of everything going on with Lamar. Especially since he's unconscious and can't make the choice of who he wants to be in charge of him. I don't know if his parents are dead. I just feel like someone who's related to him via blood, like his brother or cousin or even a best friend. I feel like somebody like that should be the one that's in charge of everything going on with Lamar. Not Khloe Kardashian, but I'm not going to rip into that decision because she's going through a lot right now, even though I despise them. The couple's divorce has not been finalized, the source told CNN. Odom's father and kids are with him at the hospital. Well then, one has to wonder what that's like in the room. Who got the choice that they said Khloe should be in charge of everything going on with her, with Lamar? Listen, the dad must now want to make the choice, or it must bring too much pressure, and maybe the kids are young. I just find it kind of weird that the dad and the two kids are in the hospital room. The one making the choice is Khloe. I find it weird. I'm not going to rant about it. I'm not going to rip into it because this is about someone's life, celebrity or not. It says here, Odom, who won 2 NBA championships. So he's not just Mr. Kardashian, he's also a pretty good basketball player. Was found unresponsive Tuesday afternoon at the Love Ranch, the Nye County Sheriff's Office said. It says that the brothel is an hour-long drive northwest of Las Vegas. Here's what Dennis Hoppe said. When we took him to the hospital, the people there told us, he doesn't look good, he doesn't look good, he doesn't look good. Okay. He doesn't look good, Dennis. We heard you. He doesn't look like he'll make it, and if he does, he won't be the same. And now, there are a lot of people that are ripping into Dennis Hoppe. I'm not going to sit here and defend him because I don't know much about the situation. No one does besides Dennis Hoppe, Khloe, Lamar, his parents, his friends. But I've met Dennis Hoppe twice. I've never been to the Bunny Ranch. I'm never going to pay for sex. Because I feel like if I were to pay for sex, I would get too attached to the girls. I wouldn't become like a creep. I just would want to pay for it all the time because I feel like I'd be the guy who would get addicted to it. So I'm never going to pay for it. But I've met Dennis twice at this thing called the Morning Show Boot Camp. And he goes there because it's a radio conference, and a lot of radio shows like to have Dennis Hoppe on. He brings good content. He's edgy. He's a unique guest. And I've taken a picture with him. He actually recognized me. How can you forgive my lanky 6'8" goofy ass? He goes, weren't you the intern at the last Morning Show Boot Camp? I'm like, yeah, what's up, dude? We took a picture. The girl that's his PR person is nice. I believe her name's Madison. They're nice people. I'm not a religious person. I'm not very conservative. But I don't know. I like Dennis because he's nice to me. I like Dennis because he was cool to me and he was cool to everyone I was around at this radio conference. But it will be sort of eye-opening to see what comes out about how much he knew. Because Lamar snuck in cocaine into the bunny ranch. Lamar was unconscious. And right now, Dennis is doing the right thing. He went on HLN. He went on Nancy Grace's show, who she obviously hates him. So it shows the balls and the guts that Dennis Hoff has to go on the show. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think Dennis Hoff knew something, because I have no idea. I don't know. I hope not. He's a nice guy to me. Maybe what he does for a living has no morals, but he's all right to me. But it will be eye-opening to see what comes out on how much he knew. I'm just saying. Officials have not said what was wrong with Odom, and his condition remains unclear. Authorities planned to fly him to Sunrise Hospital and Medical Center in Las Vegas, but they said he was too tall to fit in a helicopter. My goodness. Because he's like 6'10", I believe, 6'11". An ambulance then took him to the hospital about 60 miles from where the brothel is. Man, that is a long drive. I can only imagine how annoyed that ambulance driver must have been when, of course, everyone's in your way as you're trying to get to the hospital and you have a big-time name in your ambulance and people are in the way, because that always happens. I can only imagine the pressure that the ambulance driver must have been under. It says here, he married Chloe after a whirlwind romance in 2009. Chloe filed for divorce 4 years later, which was then 2013. The two reportedly signed divorce papers in July. The source close to the Kardashians said that the divorce is not final. Chloe has been at the hospital on his side since Tuesday night, according to a source. She said that she wants people to keep him in their thoughts and prayers. Which is why this isn't ever going to be a rant about the Kardashians, about how they drove him crazy, because I have a heart. I know Chloe is probably scared crapless. Lamar seems like a really good guy with a good heart that just has a lot of demons. So, as I said, anybody out there that's kind of rooting against them or saying, oh, who cares, he's a celebrity, shut up. It says here, everything was great. And that's what Dennis Hoff is saying. So, like I said, it'll be eye-opening to see what comes out. Dennis Hoff said that Odom called him Saturday and told him that he wanted to visit the brothel for a few days. Okay. Hoff let him sleep at his home, which is attached to the brothel. Imagine how much sex Dennis Hoff must be getting. I know that's not important right now, but when you have your house next to a brothel connected, imagine how much you're getting, even if the girls are not attracted to you at all. He has the money to make it rain in the club, as Lil Wayne said in 2006. It says here, he was having a good time at the ranch, and everything was great, Dennis Hoff said Saturday. And then he said this is what happened on Sunday, when Odom seemed a bit somber because people were bothering him. So maybe he's getting cranky from having 10 pills of Viagra in him, doing cocaine. He's kind of on edge. He's a little bit annoyed, this and that. It says here, 2 people at the brothel went to check on Odom and found him unconscious, Dennis Hoff said. They immediately called 911 and dispatch tells the girls to roll him over on his left side. He was totally unconscious. The girls and employers rushed him on the ambulance. The police didn't find any illegal drugs on him, which, number one, I would assume, because he probably snorted it all. If he's unconscious on his side, I would assume he did a lot of it. Secondly, can you imagine being those girls and you're trying to put a 6'10" player to the side probably 270 pounds with a lot of girth and muscle. That must have been hard. It said here, Odom was snoring loudly, had his eyes closed, and was unresponsive. They said over 3 days he took 10 pills as well as drinking a ton of vodka. What a great combination. All right. I have a clip here. That is Dennis Hoff on Nancy Grace's show on HLN. And Dennis Hoff is obviously defending himself. And what he says about the Kardashians, I don't agree with, but I can see where he's coming from. But it kind of makes him look unclassless. Classless. That's what I meant. But then again, that's kind of what you would expect from somebody who runs a brothel. And I'm saying this even though he was cool to me. All right. Here is the clip from HLN and the Nancy Grace show.
Well, everything was fine until Tuesday morning. They last saw him at 6 o'clock in the morning when they went to do some things, and he was going to sleep or been sleeping. And then my staff took some food in to him about noon, which he was sleeping then. The girls came back at 3:15, and he was unconscious, foaming from the mouth. They called 911. My management went in there. 911 said, put him on his left side, which was a challenge because he's a big...
I can only imagine when you find Lamar Odom foaming at the mouth. That panic that happens when you see him foaming. Just in general, this is Lamar Odom. It's the front desk. Hey, we have a patient. We have a guy who's unconscious. Who is it? Is it Joe Blow, who came here to get laid and he's visiting from Reno, Nevada? No, it's Lamar Odom. Just that panic that comes when Lamar Odom is hurt. You know what I mean? All right, back to the clip.
Guy, and when they did that, he started throwing up. The police and the ambulance came. They took him off in the ambulance, got him to the hospital, and said, this isn't looking good. We want to care flight him to Las Vegas, but he wouldn't fit in the helicopter, so they had to take an ambulance.
Did he even have a pulse? Everybody here saying he's keeping up with the Kardashians. For those of you just joining us, Kardashian husband Lamar Odom is right now.
I know this is a big side note, but oh my God, does she have one of the most annoying voices of all time. I know that's a side note, but you could tell that she's trying to go at Dennis Hoff. She's a person who's married with kids, and you have to give Dennis Hoff credit. He may not be a class act. He may not have a job that is very respectable in a lot of people's eyes, but he does have guts to go on that show.
Down. This is after nonstop partying at the Love Ranch. With me, the owner of the Love Ranch, Dennis Hoff. He says everything was fine at 6 a.m. The guy had been partying. Let's see, you said that was what day did he? He's been there since Saturday, so he's been partying for several days.
Correct. In fact,
he seems like he doesn't know what to say because he's been given the words from his lawyer or his PR agent or people around him saying, this is what Nancy Grace is probably going to say. Maybe they gave him what she was going to say before the interview. But that last clip, when he says correct, you can sort of hear in his voice how he's a bit nervous. When she's like, he was up for 3 days partying this and that. It just kind of makes Dennis Hoff look bad. I am just kind of intrigued about the more info we will get, especially if he dies. I don't want him to die at all. I'm a huge Lamar Odom fan, and I never root for anybody to die unless it's a pedophile, a murderer, or a terrorist. But it will be unique to see what happens if that were to happen, morbid or not, or if he has serious medical issues to come. If there will be lawsuits, if there will be people that will look into these brothels more and how they operate. Because I feel like it's one of those things where it's legal. It is in Nevada. But I feel like a lot of things go on there, and it's hard to like look into because it's legal and you don't have a warrant. And you've heard things that go on there, but the cops kind of just turn a blind eye and they just sort of let things go. So it will be eye-opening to see the info that will come out as days come and hours come, whenever the news breaks. All right, back to the clip.
I got a call from their publicist today.
This is the part that I can't wait to play for you. This is where Dennis Hoff loses me. I'm not going to sit here and say what he's about to say is completely wrong, because to me, it's one of those things where I can see where he's mad, and I can see where it's pathetic what the Kardashians are asking him to do. But Dennis Hoff's choice of words is kind of unclassy, even if it's the Kardashians we are talking about. So here is the clip.
Correct. In fact, speaking of the Kardashians, I got a call from their publicist today and saying, are you going to do any media? And I said, yes, I'm going to go on the Nancy Grace show. And they said, please don't do that. We'd rather have Chloe say what needs to be said. I told her to go to hell.
All right. Kind of a bad thing to be saying when somebody might die, talking about a potential afterlife location. It's kind of a bad thing to say when you say go to hell. Even if you don't agree with what Chloe says, it's kind of a douchey thing to say, Dennis. Maybe screw you or F off. But to say go to hell, hell is a place we might go to when we die. Lamar might die because of your place. It's kind of a douchey thing to say. That's just me thinking that, but whatever. Also, it's one of those things where I can see where he's coming from. I don't like how you responded to them. It's way too abrupt. But it is kind of weird how the whole Kardashian machine sort of wants to be in complete control of this. And they don't want to allow the guy who runs the operation where Lamar was found unconscious to speak out. It's like, who do you think you are, Chloe, or whoever said that from the Kardashian machine? I get that you are going through a lot. I get that you are suffering. I get that. I know. I lost my dad. We've all lost relatives. I know what it's like. But to sit there and say that you can't talk about it, only we can, kind of comes off entitled and just kind of comes off a little bit bitchy. Because do you really think Dennis Hoff is rooting for him to die? No. All right, there's really not much to the clip left. So here's my thoughts before I go to break. I really hope he pulls through. I really hope so. But anybody out there who is rooting against Lamar and making jokes about Chloe and blaming her, if anything, we should be blaming Dennis Hoff for allowing him to bring in the drugs and seeing Lamar potentially being in a bad place. But then again, it's a brothel. This isn't a church. It's not the most respectable and clean place. So it just kind of annoys me, and it kind of puts me in a bad place when people say, oh, he's a celebrity. Why should we care? This and that. Because here's the reason. He's a human being. All right. We will be right back on Happy Hour. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppy Radio.
Happy Hour.
What's up? This is Ryan Hoppe from Happy Hour, and I have a very special shout out to one of the sponsors of this award-winning podcast. Nicholas Seymour from Duluth, Minnesota is the owner of Solis Graphics, which is a badass company that will make you decals. You can buy Happy Hour decals. It's not too hard. For just $4, you can support this award-winning podcast while supporting small business here in America. Or maybe you have a band, a company, a freelancing project, and you want to have your logo made into a nice, badass decal. Nick is down for making deals. Get into contact with Nick. It's not hard. Trust me. He will answer your call real quick, and he is one of the nicest guys I know. His number is 330-419-0691. That is 330-419-0691. Or you can send him an email, solisdesign@gmail.com. That is solisdesign@gmail.com. And to check out Happy Hour decals for just $4, go to tinyurl.com/Happy Hour decal. That is tinyurl.com/Happy Hour decal. And when you talk to my guy Nick, just say that Ryan Hoppe sent you, and he will give you a badass deal. Trust my word, pimps. Nick Seymour of Solis Graphics is the best around.
All right. We will be right back on Happy Hour. It's not like I just did a 35-minute rant. I kind of need a 7-minute break. So here's a song that will kind of make you feel laid back and chill. It is Handbook with Late Night Drive. We will be right back on Happy Hour. I appreciate you guys watching live. It means a lot. I'm going to go re-up on some Mountain Dew. I'll be right back. Enjoy this laid-back song. Pimps.
It's time to turn Hoppe on. It's time to turn Hoppe on. It's time to turn Hoppe on. Happy Hour is live. Hot it up.
All right, welcome back to Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. Tweet at me live so I know you are listening. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Go to Spreaker.com/user/Ryan Hoppe to chat me live. I will see your chats in real time. Or download my app in the Google Play and the iOS shop to listen to the show on demand anywhere in the world, and you can listen to it live while chatting me. I really want to get this chat feature going on. So, there is that. I saw this headline, and I found it absolutely sickening. It doesn't surprise me with the bigots that are out today, with the people who are so out of touch that can't come to the realization that gay rights and transgendered rights are at an all-time high, and they're going to only get bigger and better, which is good. We're all humans. Who cares what decision we want to make in life? I'm so sick of people ripping on transgendered people and looking down on them. Just because they're not comfortable in the body they are in, can you imagine going through that pain? How dare you judge anybody? How dare you bring your religion in? Oh, they can't do that because of a figure that might not be real, which is God. I am so sick and tired of this debate. Who cares what somebody does with their body? It's their body. It's not your body. So screw Marco Rubio, screw all those guys, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, that are against these rights. Sit down, shut up with your greased hair, with your boring personality, where my right hand, Jill, is more unique of a person than you guys. And the reason I'm ranting about this is there's something that is tragic that came out of Philadelphia. And it's heartbreaking. It's sad. It seems like something that would happen in an episode of Blue Bloods. If you're sitting at home on a Friday night, bored. It says here, Philadelphia man, 24 years old, charged with beating up young transgendered woman and then shooting her to death. Oh my God. He must be a sick-in-the-head loser who's not content with his life, and he hates to see that transgendered rights are at an all-time high and that transgendered people are happier than you, buddy boy, you scumbag leech. Ridiculous. Who cares? Like, it's such a thing that doesn't even matter. And what I mean by that is, who cares what somebody does with their body? Who cares? Who cares? Like, do you really want to waste your life getting angry and going to protest? Obviously you do. Pedro Redding, because you shot and killed an innocent person because of that life choice. Screw you and burn in hell. It says here, Keisha Jenkins, 22 years old, was found dead in the early hours of October 6th after she was assaulted and shot twice in the back. She was pronounced dead almost immediately. Police took in Pedro Redding on Sunday after a tip-off. He has been charged with murder, conspiracy, and weapons. Cops believe about 4 other men were involved in the attack. Oh, these must be the guys that you want to bring home to your parents on Thanksgiving. These must just be great human beings. Just absolute class acts when you beat up and you take away the life of an innocent person just because they're transgender. Or maybe because you're robbing them. How do you look yourself in the mirror? You must be so screwed up in the head, and that screw is so loose that there's no fixing you. I don't get why people care so much what somebody else does. I barely care when somebody on Facebook gets into a new relationship, heterosexual, homosexual, whatever. I don't care. Why do people care? Because they're unhappy schmucks who aren't happy with their life, so they want to bring down another life. It's getting out of hand. Redding has a past of prior assault and weapon convictions. What a bitch. All right, it says here, a man has been charged with murder over the brutal shooting and beating of a transgendered woman in Philadelphia last week. Keisha Jenkins, south of the city of Philadelphia, was shot twice in the back as she got out of her car at 2:30 last Tuesday. So maybe she was working a late night shift. Or maybe she just got home from a friend's house, a significant other's house, and she's really tired and she plans on going to bed. But no, these scumbags didn't let her take a nap. She's now taking the forever dirt nap because you had to kill her. So sickening and inhuman. It says here, they believe the motive for the murder was robbery. And I don't get robbery. Like, I know it's a crime that's never going to go away. I know murder, robbery, carjacking, kidnapping is never going to end. But, like, how do you look yourself in the mirror? Are you that unhappy and that lazy and that unpassionate that you can't figure out a way to make money, to get things that you want, so you have to rob other people of their things that they earn by working hard and getting the money to buy things? Enough. Like, I'm not saying my rant's gonna all of a sudden cure robbery, but like, it's just so bizarre to think that people actually have this mindset and live this type of life where you take away innocent lives and you rob people. Think about this dude. Pedro Redding, who's 24 years old. That's what he was doing with his life. Killing people and robbing people. He's 24 years old. He's only 2 years older than me. So he has nothing to do with his life. He's not passionate. He's a loser who has no talent, no ambition, and nothing going on with his life. So he takes away the life of Keisha Jenkins, who is my age, 22. Screw you, buddy boy. They said Jenkins had been dropped off by a car in the Hunting Park neighborhood and was approached by a group of 5 men. The men attacked her and Jenkins fell to the ground almost immediately during the beating. One of the men then pulled a gun almost immediately. So no, it wasn't like they waited a minute, which I'm not saying would be any better. But right away, they just beat her up and then kill her. And they shot her twice in the back. Police were called to the scene amid reports of a robbery. Captain James Clark of the Police Homicide Division said that minutes before the victim was attacked, she had been dropped off by a car. She was then set upon. Clark said police did not believe Jenkins knew the attackers or had any prior contact with them. However, everything is not over with, and police are looking for the other men, which I hope you find these scoundrels roaming the streets. Redding has a long list of prior offenses, according to NBC, which to me is no surprise. Is anybody surprised that a scumbag who would beat up and kill an innocent life and rob somebody at 2 in the morning would have a prior past? There was no way in hell that this was going to be his first offense. And he has been sentenced before to 5 years probation for an unrelated 2014 incident. He has been taken in before. for drugs, robbery, weapons charges, and assault. Man, is he the Citizen of the Year. Logan Redding, the guy that, it's Logan Redding. Yeah, the guy that we all should look up to. Ugh, burn in hell. That was called sarcasm, but if you just look at him, it's just, he has the face where he's more sad that he got caught than the fact that he took a life. He has these beady eyes, and you can tell in his eyes that he's not sorry whatsoever. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I can read people's faces and that I'm one of those, like, TV psychics where I know what's going on in their brain. But he kind of just has this look of, oh, crap, I got caught. There's really no sorrow in his eyes. He's obviously a demented guy with a big ego who is sick in the head. It says here that the crime was just yards away from a playground. Police are now searching for any surveillance footage that might shed more light on the horrific attack. Can you imagine if this happened? And it did. But what I mean is, if this is in an area of the block where there are no security cameras, and these 4 other scoundrels somehow get away with it, my God. Nellie Fitzpatrick, who is a member of the LGBT community for Philadelphia Mayor Michael Nutter, said this type of wicked, inhuman violence has no place in this city. We can't take any more. It's just too much, which is true. It's getting out of hand because people can't take the fact that transgender folks are going nowhere. It's only going to get more prominent. There's going to be shows on network TV about it. The groundbreaking show for gay rights was Modern Family, and shows like Will and Grace. But Will and Grace was a little bit before its time. But Modern Family really is the show that changed everything when it comes to having main characters be a gay couple that adopted a girl. So my point is, people need to get used to the fact that transgender and LGBT rights are going nowhere. Like, this is a side note, but like when I cover the Tampa Bay Lightning and I go to games for the 102.5 The Bone tent, here for the promotions team at the Cox Media Building, there's this loser, and people in Tampa Bay know who I'm talking about. Before any event at the Amalie Arena in downtown Tampa Bay, this dude is always reading the Bible and giving out protests about gay rights, this and that. And it's one of those things where he doesn't look like he is all there. If you take the time of day to go to the Amalie Arena, or you're a person who shoots and kills a transgender person, it just takes a certain person to really take action, violent or not, against a transgender person. Like, why do you care that much? Also, for the Mike Kelta show back in June, man, that's going on 5 months. Jesus, time flies. I covered the Gay Pride Parade for the show. And there, of course, are those scoundrel losers that protest it and say that it's inhuman and gross, being gay marriage, gay sex, LGBT rights, transgender people. And it's just, they're the type of people where they're so unhappy with their life and they're so warped into religion and they're so brainwashed that they can't handle the fact that it's only going to get bigger. It really takes a unique person to waste their time going and doing protests. Like those scumbag at the Westboro Baptist Church in Wichita, Kansas. It's just, when you think about it, it's such a waste of time. The 24 hours we are given in a day, you're going to waste that time doing those protests. Just think about it. There is really not much to the article left. It's just one of those things where it's heartbreaking that this is going to happen. It is going to get better because people are going to have to learn to get used to the fact that gay rights are going nowhere. And they are only going to get more prominent. I believe in my lifetime, I might be 70, but there will be a gay president. Who knows, maybe even a transgender president. And you're probably sitting here going, but Hoppy, how is that possible? Well, nobody ever thought 50 years ago that there'd be a black president, and it happened. Nobody thought that there would be a chance that a woman could run for president, and we might have the first black president and the first female president in a row. I'm just saying, anything can happen. It's just heartbreaking that things like this happen to people like Keisha Jenkins, and I really hope it opens up people's eyes of this senseless violence. It's just sad. Like, we have one life, and you're going to waste your life by taking away another life. Even if it isn't because she was transgendered, we know they are discriminated against and looked down upon. Enough. You hear this music, it's Black Box. It means we're about to get up on out of here. It's not hard to get into contact with me once the show is over with. All you have to do is tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. But maybe you want to send me a message that is more than 140 characters. Email me, ryan@hopperadio.com. Maybe you're a local act in the Tampa Bay area. Or maybe even Cleveland, where I reach some of my fans, and you want to have a phone interview. But I'm specifically looking for local comedians, local talented people, maybe musicians. Like I had somebody from America's Got Talent, and I've had local comedians on the show and radio hosts in major markets. I'm really trying to grow the brand of Happy Hour and to promote other people's works. So basically, it's networking at the same time. So if you know any acts, or you have ideas for the show, or you want to be a sponsor, email me, ryan@hopperadio.com. Also, you can buy Happy Hour decals. The first 10 buyers get it for just the low price of $2. Go to tinyurl.com/happyhourdecal. That is tinyurl.com/happyhourdecal. Brought to you by Solis Graphics out of Duluth, Minnesota, and my guy, Nicholas Seymour, a fan who I appreciate. He's a good guy. Email him if you have any decals you want to have made. solisdesign@gmail.com. He's the same company I play during commercial breaks. Also, download my app for the iOS and Google Play Shop. All you have to do is search up Happy Radio. You can listen to all my interviews. Like I had Jason Bailey from the Rock 100.5 show in Atlanta. And I had Jason Mahoney from the Dave Mahoney and DK show on. And I've had 22 other interviews. So you can listen to that on my app. And you can listen to my rants on demand. And whenever I do a live Spreaker show, you can listen to that live. And there is a chat feature. I really want to get going. So all you have to do, it's not hard, is go to the Google Play Shop and search up Happy Radio, or go to the iOS shop and search up Happy Radio. So you can listen to it on any smart device. Hell yeah. Also, go to hopperadio.com and hoppysworld.com. And very soon, I will be creating a newsletter that will show each list of guests for that week. And it's going to be called Hoppy's Homies, which is a name that John Senning and Dennis Walker, a.k.a. Promo John and Gravedigger from the Cox Media Building, they're the ones that came up with the name Hoppy's Homies. I'm not trying to sit here and be cocky and to come up with my own fan base, but I'm trying to make a group of people who support me. So they're my homies. All right. This has been Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, saying peace out and appreciate life.
This is an official broadcast of Hoppe Radio. For more info, check out hopperadio.com and hoppesworld.com.
I thought we was going to take turns on this. How come I stand always is that the Jefferson?
We traded turns, remember?
Well,
You traded one of your turns for 3 of my turns, and a turn to be named later.
I tell you this, I'm going to be pissed if I get over there good turns of 2 eggs and I prove.
No, I'm with you on that one.
Hey, Carl, if you wouldn't mind, could you please turn your security grid the off so I can get some sleep?
Hang on, let me think.
No.
Dude, you want to move your thing?